Good afternoon, everyone. You're most welcome here today. We're happy to have each and every one of you today. We know that it's a huge sacrifice because Saturdays are for much job and actually, so we're grateful that you're all here today. It's going to be an exciting time for most students. I believe that each and every one of us here will be here today and remember this day in the future, because today will be a great decision to change your financial landscape. I hope that by the time we see each other next year on this topic, we will realize it's all clear. We all have what it is today. So thank you once again for being here. We're very excited to have you. My name is Nwatam, and I'm the founder of Women in Government Nigeria. wig.ng started in 2021. I'm also a civil servant, and was always asked the question, I was always told, you don't know that the civil servant, you don't know that the civil servant, what these big civil servants are. All my friends that are civil servants, excuse me, so I don't know what's happening, but I said also be not doing this because I think that the past needed to do. And also, anytime you hear there's something new being, it's always private sector. But we always need support. A lot of us in civil service need support. And so I thought it best to create a platform where we have women to come together to converge on topics like this. So next time we meet, we need to build a community where we have people in civil service come together and build topics. There's also the reason why we should be able to continue to be our counterparts in other countries. It's enabled us to get to that. So that is why we started wig.ng. Particularly in this topic, given the current economic climate, we felt it important to have a conversation regarding saving and investing, because people are always asking, what do I do? How can I do it? And the civil servant, it's never enough. What do I do? So we thought it wise to also get people together and get experts who will be able to give you insight on how to navigate this difficult terrain. We know that we cannot deny that money is important to every aspect of life. That is where everything flows. And so this conversation is very, very pertinent today, and I'm very excited that we are all coming here today to have this conversation. Also, our online participants, thank you for joining us from wherever you are. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Before we start, because I know that our time is already fast spent, I want to ask us what want to just think about it before we give our speakers the opportunity to upload all that they have for you today. How many of you always feel like salaries on the before the end of the month? You are wondering, what did I do this year? How many of us are like that in this room? You don't have to raise up your hand and expose yourself. We know what it is. Do you also know how much you spend exactly and what? How many of us can tell us? I'm also guilty. We all are. And have you also tried to invest in something you do with time? Is there any thing that happened with money? That you want to build this. You'd be like, okay, wait, she's my friend. Let me just put me in. Have you also done that? We're all guilty. Then, but not the least, the money to fall. What would it say about you? Say, no respect. Okay, so see, we all need here. It was all necessary for us to have this conversation here today. So once again, I thank each and every one of you for being here today. I would like to just take a brief moment to introduce what we can speak about. Good morning. Few of them have something in common. We have something in common because they're interested in impacting the lives of people. And I think they deserve a round of applause. Just before we to see them. We have had a private session where only 5 people joined, so they can only have that knowledge. But they decided to show up here today for you and I. So thank you so much. Before we even introduce you, thank you so much. Without any order, I'd like to introduce our speakers. The first on my left, we have Ms. Nwatam. She is the head of sustainability and environmental and social governance at the Nigeria Sovereign Investment Authority, where she's responsible for driving the organization's sustainability strategy and climate initiatives, as well as implementation of its ESG framework across the authority. And its $2.5 billion investment for food and foundations. With extensive experience in infrastructure investment, Nana has a track record in executing and managing strategic, impactful investment, including several climate focused projects. She serves on several national committees, including the Presidential Committee on Project Evergreen, Intergovernmental Committee on Carbon Market Activation, and the Nigeria Climate Change Monitoring Committee. She has antecedents at KPMG, where she works in management consulting. She holds a first-class degree in bachelor's. She holds a first-class bachelor's degree in computer science, computer systems engineering from the University of Kent, and a master's degree in oil and gas management from the University of Germany. She deserves a round of applause. We really appreciate that you to be here with us. Our second speaker is Mrs. Rosemary Nwatam. She's a dynamic productivity expert with over 30 years of dedicated service in spearheading transformative initiatives across Nigeria's productivity landscape. With an illustrious career marked by strategic leadership, innovative thinking, and impactful action, Rosemary has consistently delivered outstanding results in every role she undertakes. Her journey to becoming the leading figure in productivity enhancement began early in her career, from her initial role as a productivity research officer to her ascension to deputy director and eventually director at the NPC. Her hands-on experience in implementing productivity tools and strategies, coupled with her strong analytical skills, have been instrumental in driving sustainable change and fostering a culture of continuous improvement. Her commitment to excellence is reflected in her academic achievements. She holds a master's degree in ecology and environmental studies and an MBA from some prestigious institution. As a fellow of the Institute of Corporate Administration of Nigeria, she remains at the forefront of thought leadership in the field of productivity enhancement. I'd like us to give one round of that she deserves a second round of applause. You don't know why. Why would I just she just retired from the civil service. And also thank you for being here today. We appreciate it. Our speaker also, last but certainly not least, is Mrs. Judy Choma Abu. She's a financial advisor at ARL Investment Managers Limited. She's a member of the Chartered Institute of Financial and Investment Analysts. She has over 10 years experience in the financial sector, providing guidance and innovative solutions to clients, assisting individuals and corporate organizations to achieve their financial goals. She's also currently running an MBA. I'd like to welcome you again. Thank you also for being here. you can see that the wealth of the CV and profiles that we have today is one to be admired. And so we want to say congratulations in all that you've been striving to achieve, in all that you have achieved, and we want to say thank you also for being here today. We're going to go into a round of questions so that we can provide insight into the various areas that we want to discuss today. In no particular order, we'll be throwing some questions and each of our speakers will give insights, but you're also free to chip in to any other person's opinions, comments. So earning, saving, and investing. There are three components that make up your financial lifestyle as an individual and as a woman. It is really, really important that as a woman, we know what to do with these things and how to navigate them. So the first question I will throw is to you, Ms. Rosemary. From your perspective, how did you start to build in modesty?
Very much for this opportunity to be here. To share my experience with you. I started working from the private sector actually, and then I moved onto the private sector. You can imagine they're earning from 3,000 in the private sector because I started with more week and then now we are now earning 1,000 plus. So then things were okay because you could take your 200,000, 500, you could equip everything in your house in one day. You could go buy your TV, buy this, buy that. And from then it was okay. Say you are happy, you know, because we were a parastatal, not the core ministry. We earned more than the ministry. But over time, you realize that you are not doing what your mates are doing, right? Especially when I was in the private sector, my colleague now said, then I moved on to journalism accidentally. I was a journalist. I was the chief correspondent with National Concord those days. And then in a day, you make up to, because when you go out, people, this paper is sort out, you know, people want National Concord to be there. And then you are going, you know what they call this brown envelope, they give you envelope appreciation. And then you see you have 200 naira. So one guy asked me, what do you do with this? You know, I like chicken, you know, and then chicken 15 naira, you go and spend, buy one chicken. You know, with your friends, once you finish and the money is getting more, you can't continue like this with saving. So the first thing we just go to the bank, I was saving 100 naira every day. Every day, 100 naira. And it turned out to be something at the end of the day. But the thing is for you to save and then think of investing. You know, I've earned, right? I've saved. Did I do the investment? Are you getting it? So coming back to civil service, it now took, because we don't see the money as this is small. Let me use it for myself. You know, we like good clothes, right? You're buying clothes, you're buying shoes, or you're taking care of other people. But over time, and then I now decided that Osusu, I started doing Osusu. That's where I started from. And my first business that I did was with 200,000 naira. Because most of us now, we don't want to start small. We always want to start big. And it was palm oil. I was doing my research, doing other things. But that 200,000 was a lot. And in 6 months, I can tell you that that 200,000 had turned to about 800,000 naira. But there are risks in business. And the risk was that this 800,000 was that problem because I had my salary and I was giving somebody the money, okay, go and purchase, go to the mill in Port Harcourt and purchase. We now got bad oil. So that 800,000, everything, you know, we now had to recoup, but it was not up to that again. So I had a break. So what are we saying that as a civil servant or as a woman, don't say that it is too early or your money is too small to save. You must save. Your money must be divided, right? You know, Nigeria has what they call sovereign wealth fund. You should have Rosemary sovereign wealth fund, right? Yes. That is your organization. Do you get it? So we should have that. Your money should be into for. And some of us, we are too comfortable. Because what drives a woman to save is when her husband starts showing her pepe. I mean, am I speaking your mind? Right? For those that are married, you know, you are comfortable. Your husband is doing everything. No, 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 no. You are a human being. You are an individual. God did not bring you into this world to just come and exist, right? You must be impactful. How be impactful? It is only with money you can be impactful. It is only with money that you can do something and say ethical. This business that we are talking about, business is not only about making money. It is about what ethics comes into it. You see that something is going wrong somewhere. There's a gap. How do I close this gap? So I'm telling you today that you must and you should, if you have not started, from that your 200,000, 1 million, there is an amount that you will never touch. But don't keep it idle. Don't put it in the bank, because time value of money, when we say time value of money, is that what money is worth today is not what it is worth tomorrow. So that money, you set it aside. You say, this is this. And then you must calculate. There are 3 things you must do. These are my consumables. These are money, you call it short term. These are monies that when they come, they must go, and it does not come back. These are monies that are for, oh, somebody is doing birthday, I have to do this, I have to do that. And you must have a cap into it. Once it gets to this level, I would not. Do you get it? And then the one you are saving, and you know that no, it is not going to play. If you contribute at home, it's good for a woman to contribute because it is your value. That's what gives you value, no matter what it is. There's something that you are taking up at home. Take it and then you plan for it. But don't allow this craze that has taken over Nigeria, that they are talking about Ashwebi. I go for weddings now with my friends, and 20 people are doing Ashwebi that we are friends in. And I'm the only one that is not wearing it. I'd rather use my money to go and buy something in the market, and then which is my own. I wear it tomorrow, it is not, the value is not less. Let me tell you people something. You buy an Ashwebi for 100,000 naira, right? And 50 people will have that same cloth. Do you know the value of that cloth is zero? Because when you wear it, you will not even want to wear it. So why would you take plan? You know, there's a wedding, family wedding or something, you take it. We're discussing it, I told my friend, I said, they said, no, you know, we have to do it. I said, you don't have to do it. Nobody is compelling you to do it because you have to plan. The country is not like before. Things are changing. Schools are changing, fees, everything in Nigeria is just good. But you have to, by the time you have created that, your income, right? You'll be doing things and your colleagues are asking, how are you doing this? It is because you have formed the habit of saving. So I encourage you that from that little amount, segment it, short term, medium term, and long term. And then the one that you must not go to. Don't be deceived. Don't care. What you have to do is that develop a thick skin because you are who you are. Love yourself, know yourself, and be able to stick by these principles that we set. Thank you.
That big round of that first round of conversation is that your name there and then put your survey blog after that. You need to have that. Really, really important. Really, really important. I want to say thank you for those few words. I will turn to you and ask you, what would you say is the biggest mental shift women in civil service need to make to take control?
Right, thank you everyone. Good afternoon. Thank you to convene of this program. I'm really grateful. Okay, talking about mental shift for women in civil service. I'm sure that we have other people in the private sector that this right is not going to just service. So in today's world, what happened? What do we see? Young people find out that so many of the young people we have in our home are any better than us. The parents are true. True of us. True. So what do they do with their phone between that 21, 22, 23, 24, 25? We find out that they spend their money in lavish things they want to go for vacation. I'm not stopping you from going on vacation, but you have to sit down and tell yourself, immediately you start earning, remember when you love the team of this company that says, earn, save, and invest, it is progressive. It means that as an adult, responsible adult, we need to add value. And when we add value, what comes, we get incomes. So what do we do with those incomes that comes our way? It means that we need to save. That is where saving now comes in. So why don't save as an individual? There's this budget rule that says 50, 30, 20. And if 50 says that 50% of your income should go to your fixed expenditure. What are fixed expenditure? Example is your rentals, children's school fees, accommodation, transportation. These are fixed. It means that when your salary comes, they are necessities. You can't do without them. Then 30% now comes in. Probably there's a car, your car broke down. It's a sort of emergency fund. That 30% should be there. If mama calls that she's not feeling well, from that emergency fund, you take it out and send it back. If your brother said, oh, I need to further my education, but I need to so and so amount. You are not a father Christmas, but you're a sister, you're a brother, you love him. From your emergency fund, take it out. That's the only way for you to have financial freedom. Then we'll move down to the 20%, and thanks, thank you so much for that, as if you're a financial analyst. Thank you so much. The 20% goes down to your investment. That is the no-go area she's telling you. So what happened in that place? What are they available to? So you put it here, you're going to get returns on your money. So when she was speaking, she spoke about the Achebi. Do you know that an Achebi report for 60,000 naira in January? If you had bought an MTN shares, you would have been over 140,000 naira. Sorry, your value of that money should be around 140,000 naira. MTN did over 100% returns. I bought an MTN shares of a shares for 208 naira in January. Currently, MTN shares is 280. And we have some other investment stocks that are doing far better, that get return over 370% returns from that investment. So that is on the budget side. Now you have known that so many people say, how am I going to do this when my take home will not take me home? I think I'm speaking from, do you understand? We have to be very realistic. Take home cannot take, but now that's where the budget aspect comes in. Based on sister love, right? Please, can we get other source of income? Please, let's get it. Let's do it. Although it should not affect our primary job, please pay attention. So you have to do it when you go to the social media space. It's either you're teaching, if you are good in writing, please write for people. You have a lot of creative things to do. You're very good at monetize this thing, monetize your page, make more money so that you can have that good lifestyle you want to live, that big lifestyle. Without a man, you can actually have that big lifestyle. But that is only when we hire a good financial planning and reduce our bad financial habits, which are impulse buying. You know, some people they bring something, you buy it. It's not part of a plan. Reduce it. Then some people buy to boost their mood. True, of course. Do you know when salary comes in like this, right? I need to sit down to discuss it. When salary comes in, you tell your salary, there is this joy that just comes. First of all, then the next thing is that that dress I saw, I need to pay for it before I spend this money. So when your salary comes, what I tell you, remove your 20% from that salary. Please take it to your investment. Take it there. That should be fixed. People are earning less than what you're earning. They are surviving. So you know that 80% is your salary. From that 80%, you understand the 50%. Whatever thing that is left is an emergency fund. Whereby instead, those 100K people inside emergency fund, if it's 5% from it, move that 5%. That is if you exhaust that 5%, it's carryover. Carryover. Please take it. It's carryover. You can't go and borrow. You did not borrow for yourself. You want to go and borrow for someone else. Exactly. So inside it, you want to travel. These days, I don't tell you, why do you travel? You just from Abuja and from this state. Money is going. Except you're doing it for business, except you're traveling and getting people. So you have to pay attention to those things. What are the things that are taking money out from you? Can I reduce it? I was in the bank some time ago. There I used to be a control staff. So we have this boy that came to the office, and we had our money outdoors, and he's talking about, and I said, Choma, you're going to do something. What is that thing you can do with us? Check your word from head to toe. And I looked at that and I said, what? I'm going to put this money in a place where it will give me return. I did this thing for 5 years. At the end of 5 years, I was able to raise 720,000 naira. This is expenses will make that I don't know. And I was living and I did not feel it. Reason, how did that happen? I did a direct debit instruction. Allow me to do that and take this money from bank and now put in that place. It's a life, not work. I wish I did the direct debit instruction. It's not instruction that everyone at this particular my salary comes to the 22nd. On the 22nd, that money should be in my account. And that happened consistently. For us to have that financial freedom, consistency is coming. Consistency beats perfection. Where you're waiting for that big little sum of money to come, and something never comes. While we're waiting for perfection, it never comes. But it is work in progress that brings perfection. Now, what happened? Consistency. If you're doing 5,000 or doing 10,000, keep doing it. If there's inflation in there's increase in your salary, please don't increase your expenses. Don't. Because that is where we have people that live in Kuba and say they want to move down to Buset or they want to move down to Jabi. When you're living your life and you're living poor, as long as you don't have any security issue, please live in that place. What you do at that time, you have an increased salary for you to increase your investment and reduce, make sure you reduce your expenditure. Anything that will take out money from you that will make you, please try and reduce it. What advice, what again do I need to say regarding investment? Now, here's the challenge of investment. Is it because Amaka said you should invest here? You go and invest. You can actually go and invest and your money goes in down. Please, you need to understand where you're putting your money. You need to understand what returns you're going to get from that investment you're going in for. You need to understand the organization you're putting your money. Is it that 2 or 3 criminals just come together and form a family? And they have a break and give you this. What happened during the MMM time? I was in the private sector. I think I was the only person as bank manager that did not fall for it. The simple question I asked, where if I put my money, the 10% to a thing, where are you getting that money to? You must ask that question. You don't just say people from where? Inflation is doing 24%. Which business will you do? If I do business, I come to you, I do business today. And we are going to buy that with the risk involved, the insecurity involved, the cost of transportation, the fuel price, I need to pay myself, and those that will stay from my business. You think I'm going to get 80% to pay you? And I said I'm paying you. We're all joking. Seriously. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. If there's anything we'll take from there is the 50, 30, 20 rule. And I'm an example of that. I was also in the private sector. When I moved to civil service and I got my first salary, I looked at it first and I was wondering, is this for shawarma, Fridays, or to do my nails, or to what? I sat down and thought about it. It was quite a difficult transition. I made up my mind that with that money, I was going to make it and use it. At that time, I wasn't paying any rent. So what I did was this 30, 20 rule. I didn't buy a shebe. So all of you that I didn't buy a shebe to go for your wedding, sorry. I didn't. I cut down all my expenses. I didn't socialize as much. Only when I didn't need to spend, I didn't need to spend money. Because I had a goal. Because I'm an adult. There's no way I can go and be asking my father for money to put petrol in the car. So I had to make sacrifices. If you don't make sacrifices today, you don't discipline yourself, you won't get very far with your finances. And there's nobody coming to save you. Right? Nobody's coming to save you. So save yourself first. Like they say in airplane, put on your mask before you put for a baby's mask. Even for your baby. You can only take care of your family if you take care of yourself and start with this. So thank you so much for that round of insight. And I will go to you, Nana. Simple question. So what simple investment options are available?
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. for having me. I think perhaps before I go into the simple investment options that are available for women, I think we need to address some common myths regarding investing. People think you need to have a whole lot of money before you invest, and that is not true. Every income level can invest because there are different investment instruments that allow you to invest from as little as 50 naira. Because if you look at some company stocks, the value of some company stock is 50, 20 naira. Any amount of money we can invest at any income level. So don't wait until you have a huge, sum of money set aside before you invest. Secondly, there's something called the compounding effect, right? Say you invest 100 naira, that's your principal, and then you gain some interest on it. The further interest or the subsequent interest that you gain is not just on that 100 naira, the 100 naira plus the interest that's being gained, so the compounding effect. So no matter how small it is, it grows, right? Thirdly is around discipline and consistency. I think we've heard that already from our two speakers. You have this discipline, you have to be consistent. It can't be an afterthought. Investing cannot be an afterthought. Like before you even buy that shoe that you want, make sure you kept your money for savings and you've kept your investments on the side, before you spend on these other ones. So what safe options are there? Before you invest, there's certain things you need to consider. First is your risk appetite. Are you risk averse? Are you open to taking huge risks? So interestingly, I'm risk averse. You think I can take on huge risk because I'm in investment space, but I'm actually risk averse, right? But my appetite is growing. I think it has grown over time. But initially, I was scared of. I would rather, see my money where it is, than put it somewhere. But then, what is your risk appetite? There are people that are willing to take on just a bit of risk. Some people are willing to take on huge risks. So that would also guide you as to what instruments you should invest in. Another thing you should think of is how long do you want to invest for? Are you investing towards a certain goal, or do you just want to invest in perpetuity, like whatever, I'll invest until the kingdom comes or whatnot. So that will also guide you because different investment instruments have different returns profile, different levels of stock. And so let's start with the low risk. For someone with a low risk appetite, you would want to invest in FGN T-bills, so treasury bills, or FGN bonds. So T-bills and government bonds are basically you lending money to the government of Nigeria. That's it really. They're very safe, they're guaranteed, government will pay you back. Now the key difference is your T-bills they have shorter tenors. You have 90 days, 180 days, 365 days. So depending on how long you want to, what tenor you want to take on for that. And then with corporate bonds, they are more long term, so a year plus. So you can get some for 1 year, 5 years, even 20 years, depending on the bond issuance done by the government. So with corporate bonds, typically you get your interest payments or dividend payments twice a year because it's long term. So it's not like you're not getting anything. Mid-year you get payments, and you get payments like that until the full maturity, and then you get your back. But then with T-bills, you get everything end of term because again it's short term. Now another low risk instrument that I want to opt for is mutual funds. So when you think of mutual funds, it's basically imagine having a basket. Imagine me being an investment manager, right? And having a huge basket. And then you all have different types of fruits, right? And then within that basket, I collect the different fruits from everyone. So I have a basket of different variety of fruits. And then I use that fruit for something. I could use it for fruit juice. I could use some for yogurt. I could use some for popsicle, and sell and make money and pay. So that's kind of what mutual funds are, right? You have established investment managers that take money from different individuals and then pool these funds and invest them across different things, across T-bills, across the same corporate bonds, across the same stocks, different things. So it's kind of like a diversified portfolio, which is an approach to mitigating risk, putting your money across different things. So mutual funds are also very low risk, and they're high liquid. If you wake up tomorrow and you need money, within 24 hours you're able to eat the mutual funds and have some money. So at least it's not locked in like the T-bills for your corporate bonds. So that's for the low risk. So for someone with medium risk appetite, you want to look at corporate bonds or commercial paper. Now, corporate bonds is similar to FGN bonds, but as opposed to lending money to government, you're lending money to corporate organizations. The returns are typically higher than that you get from T-bills. And commercial paper is also similar, but then again, commercial paper is largely short term, so maybe 90 or largely 180 days or 270 days. And a lot of organizations issue commercial papers to raise working capital to cover their operating expenses, right? So most of the times you see beginning of the year, a lot of organizations will issue commercial paper and then you subscribe. So with commercial paper, with the previous ones I had spoken about, your T-bills, corporate bonds, for as little as, again, it depends on the financial institution you're using, after you're using, but for some, for as little as 10,000, 15,000, you're able to subscribe to this. Now with commercial papers, you need a bit more capital or a bit more principal, right, to invest in commercial papers. But the one thing you want to check is the credit rating of the company. Is that company credit worthy? So if you see, for example, beginning of this year, Dangote issued commercial. It's Dangote sugar, of course, you should subscribe to Dangote's commercial paper, And with all these things, all the information will be provided to you. You see the credit rating of these companies, you see whether it's credit worthy or not. You see even cash flows, historical cash flows. So you're able to tell, okay, this company will give me back my money. So maybe medium risk, not too risky, but then it's not 100% guaranteed. So just know or learn a lot about the company before you invest in that, corporate bond or commercial paper. And then moving on to the high risk, those that have the liver, right? So I'd say high risk would be, stocks, whether it's US stocks or Nigerian stocks. Now it's high risk because the performance of stocks is tied to the macroeconomic environment, and it's also tied to different headwinds. It could be geopolitical shifts. It could be Trump coming out to say something, and then you see the stock market dipping. That's if you're investing in US. So it could be like, it's driven by so many factors. Hence why it tends to fluctuate. But at the same time, you can get very good returns. I spoke about how MTN has performed. There are a lot of stocks, Nigerian stocks, that have done from beginning of the year to mid-year, they've done 200, 300% returns. So because Nigeria's economic trajectory is on the rise, and according to the world, and the economic outlook is positive for the country, so stocks are picking up, they're doing good. And so this is a good time to invest in Nigerian stocks. But then to hedge against FX again, we want to invest in US stocks. And then the question you might ask, what stocks then do I invest in? Maybe there's a simple rule. I invest in stocks of companies that I know people need. So FMCG, fast-moving consumer goods. You must buy flour because we must eat puff-puff. And the wedding, we buy cake, we eat bread. Exactly. So okay, flour. Palm oil, Presco, or Como, because we need, or we use palm oil. We need palm oil. Things like milk, Milo, your consumables, day-to-day consumables, so things like Nestle, right? When you look at urbanization, it's on the rise. Everywhere you go to, there's construction going on. So companies that are into that space, cement companies, glass manufacturing companies, steel manufacturing companies, cable manufacturing companies. So it's not like rocket science really. It's just, and that's my own approach as well. It's just, okay, what is it that regardless of what happens in the economy, people need this thing? And then those are the companies that I normally buy their stocks. And for the US market, same thing. You want to buy an iPhone, that's good. But then why not own a stake in the business, buying Apple shares? You're Netflixing and chilling, right? Okay, why not own some stake in Netflix? So some of those areas as well that I see opportunities, or if you see a boost in the technology space, put in some money in tech stocks. With the increase, although this one for me, all about ethical investments as well. But I mean, for some people, they don't care. So currently there's a lot of what you call it, unrest, right? Russia is fighting Ukraine, Israel and Gaza and all of that. And so when you look at stocks within companies within that space, ammunition, weapons and all of that, they're also performing well. But then again, just for ethical reasons, I wouldn't put my money there. But there are people that put their money there because they know okay, these tensions are rising, so it's good to put their at the end of the day, it's up to everyone to make those ethical decisions. But so those are the little, like say tips in selecting which stocks to invest in or what to invest. The key is diversification. You don't want to put all your eggs in the same basket. So diversify your portfolio as an individual, even organization. My organization will have diversified portfolio because that's the key way to manage risk. So diversify your portfolio and leverage technology. So these days you can do these things through apps on your phones. You don't have to go to a bank to do it. You have a lot of apps. Bamboo, you have Merry Trade, you have AfriInvest, all around. You buy your stocks there, whether it's US stocks, Nigerian stocks, and all of that. And there was a point to saving, which I want to highlight on. There are a lot of high interest saving platforms as well. So yes, your bank would pay you interest, but it's not so high. But then there's some of these platforms that offer up to 20% interest on just saving. So assuming you're even zero risk, you don't want to take any risk at all, you just want to keep your money and put it in high interest saving platforms. So things like invest, and the likes, you get high interest. Exactly, you get high returns on your savings. Yeah, so I think that's just a range of options like this. Now another one, and this is not for the faint-hearted, is crypto. No, I'm saying it's not for the faint-hearted. Crypto is high risk, like the highest of risk, super risk, yes, times 100x, but then high returns. But then I always advise people, if you don't go into crypto, you need to be the kind of person that will literally sit and monitor things. That's why if you see all these guys that you see them, they're always in front of their computers. Because I promise you, you can buy a coin and it's doing well, and by the end of the day, it goes all the way down. That day, it once happened to me. I bought some coin, it was doing so well. I'm the kind of person that I don't check off. So the next time I went to check, this coin each coin was about $90. Next time I went to check, it had fallen to like $3. So that's why those guys need to monitor. So that's the key. You literally need to monitor because the littlest thing will crash your coin or make it go up. And the key is to quickly sell while it's on the rise, and then when it starts crashing, quickly buy before it gets on the rise, and if it starts falling, you quickly sell. But like I said, it's not for the faint-hearted, and it's for people that can dedicate their time to that. That's why you see people that do crypto in front of their computer 24/7 doing that, because that is the only way to make money from that. So for civil servants, or even for me, all ladies, please, so if you have the liver, but then I wouldn't advise you. So I think these are the petty options that I'm giving. I think you can definitely explore a little bit of everything. That would be good. Thank you.
Thank you so much. The only crash we want to hear in a sentence is crash course on financial savings and something like that. But thank you so much for that insight. All need to find out what our risk appetites are. Very important. We need to find out what's the tenor of the investment that you want to make, and make sure that you ask additional questions if you don't understand. Because the first rule of investment is you need to know you need to understand what you're putting your money into. If you're like me, you struggle with math, you can do the division, you don't understand. You say, start again. You have to understand because it's your hard-earned money. It's little money that you're getting for your hard work at the end of the month. You can't just waste it. You need to understand what it is that your money is going. Thank you so much. We're going to take a second round of questions, and Rosemary, we're coming to you because you just recently left us in the system. But I know that your background experience will help a lot of women in this field. And I think one of the major concerns for women in civil service is how we can earn money and still maintain their jobs. I think it's a major concern because you know what the code of conduct says, first of all, and also, in addition to that, women in civil service also benefit, so they feel, if I'm saving, which one is business again, mind me. But can you just give us practical examples? How do women start to earn money? What are the ways that they are able to do that? And what do you think also the opportunities that are there for them in business?
Okay, thank you very much. And it's really getting interesting. You know, how can women earn money? With what you are earning now, how can you now make more money? You know, we have what we call the susu, right? Adache. But doing that adache, don't do adache that we start in January, yeah? And we are collecting in December. Never. Never. Don't do osusu. They say osusu. Even if it is 10,000, I remember I used the word earlier, time value of money. You are doing that with someone and the person, 10 people, and you are number 8 or number 5. Number 1 has collected, Abi, 50, maybe it's even 10,000, or let's say 50,000. 50,000 times 10, that's 500,000. And you are number 5. The first person has collected 500,000 and takes it to any of these piggy vest, go to Amcom, buy shares. Do you know in that 6 what the person will be making daily on money market? Right? And you are number 5, right? Or you are number 10. You see that there's no common sense in that, right? So I advise that adache is good because I know 3 of my colleagues when I was working that they all have houses through adache, just 3 of them. And they decided they were setting aside their 100,000. So one person collects, you know you are going to buy goods, you know you are going to do this. Over time, you're going to have their houses. You know? So I'll advise that this is the way you can make money. And then coming to forums like this, having financial literacy, so that you know what it is and what is budgeting. What is this investment, like I said? Now that she has given you these highlights, you have to go back and do your research and read more on it so that you know the direction to go, right? And then government sometimes will say, oh, they are doing something for women. Something is available for women. Before we came in, she was saying something that federal government has just introduced investment on a home and all that. So all those kind of things, be intuitive and ask questions. You know, sometimes when we see something federal government, it's a lie. It can't happen. I have colleagues like that who say, federal government has released that women should do this. They say it can never happen. No. Do you know anybody? If you don't, always try. Don't be a pessimist. Do you understand? Always be positive. Even if it does not work for A, always tell yourself it will work for me. And that is why I'll come back to even what you earn and all that. What is your vision for yourself? Right? How many of us have vision, personal vision? You have to set it. If you don't have it now, one of the things you should do, write it down. You have to go back from here. You have a vision. How do you see yourself in the next 5 years, 10 years, 15 years? So what do you want to achieve at that time? It determines all these things that we are talking about. That is what is going to be your driver. Because you now have a vision on how to get there. Then you now do what? Set your what? Your goals and your targets, right? When you now set your goals and your targets, when we talk about discipline and consistency, it is because you have the vision, you have your mission and your target. You now know that, okay, for me to get to this my target, I must not do this. She says she did the 50, 30, 20. It is because what? She had what? A vision. So you must, what vision you have for yourself? So, Osusu, okay, I'm going to do this Osusu. But this Osusu is to build a house. Because now the money is coming in. You are doing 10 or 3 people, and then you just get out your first money. This money that I've gotten, I'm taking it straight to piggy banks. I'm going to have investment. Can you see we've earned money to do that, right? So that is just, I think, for civil servant, that is what is available. And you know, in civil service, the only thing you can do as a civil servant, as public servant, is what? Agriculture, right? and anything on the agricultural value chain you can do. But any other thing is what? Not acceptable. So it will be said that I don't want anybody to be charged for gross misconduct. And gross misconduct says that you are what? You'll be dismissed out of the system. So by doing agriculture, looking at small things that you can do. And I'm shocked there's a lady that I know. She opened her system one day. She left work. Things were just down. Her husband had just left her. She now went into, she was working at an NGO, and she saw people queuing. She was in the back. She has went back with people. So getting herself together with her 2 children, and she was going to this farm. She was working in defeat, and we were always going to villages to do one thing with them. And she would see people queuing up. She now asked her, why do these people queue up? Anytime we are passing, they say, madam, these people, they have their money on hand. What they are looking for is tractor. And she said, tractor. Since she had got to the banks all over Nigeria, from this bank, they will tell her no, from this bank, they will tell her no, proposal. And then Sterling Bank, Sterling Bank is friendly to women, right? And that person was resuming that day, not a Nigerian, and he had already said no. Then he now told her to come. That gave her they won't give you the money. They now went and got her the tractor. Within 1 year, she had gotten 3 tractors and she had paid the bank. And as of 2016, that I saw her account weekly, she was making 9 million naira. She's still working. She did not resign. And if you see how the way you can just work faster, that she's worth nothing. You understand? She said something. Some of us, even when we start doing some of these investments and money are coming in, what do? We change lifestyle. You understand? There's bag of 5 million, there's bag of 7 million, there's bag of 50,000, right? What are you comfortable with? You want people to say you're carrying bag while people are investing. Yeah? So we must be intentional about what we do. The only way we can make money in civil service is through this agricultural value chain, coming to forums like this, and looking at things that governments are bringing out for women. Oh, you can enjoy this scheme. Always apply. Even when people tell you it will not happen, apply. And let it be that you did not get. So these little things, and the most important thing where you can start from is what I've said, but don't do the long chain one. Just get a group of your friends. Okay, imagine 3 of us now. Every month we are doing 100,000, right? In 3 months, 100,000, we have put about 300,000 in investment. That money, you're not going to use it for any other thing. It is just that I'm going to use it for investment. And we are building your money markets. You can see at the end of the day what will be. Or even short term, like you said, some of these creature funds, they start as low as 10,000 naira. In 2 months, that your 300,000 is something. In 3 months, it is something. So let us, first of all, build this income within ourselves, helping one another to survive, because that's what it's talked about, cooperative and social, is that belong to cooperative societies where they can build you hold one another. We are building each other so that one person can stand. We gather, one person builds. That's why cooperative, they have very stringent rules. If you're in any cooperative that they are not following the rules of cooperative, then you don't have the being there. Because at the end of the day, especially in organizations, look at your cooperative very well. Don't put your money where at the end of the day you are retiring and they can't give you back the money. And they are not even investing your money. Because cooperative money is not supposed to be idle. They are supposed to be doing other things in the money that add with the money that at the end of the day, you are going to be sharing dividend from it. So ask questions. When you go for AGM, don't just sit down at AGM and listen. Those are ways that civil servants make money. While other civil servants are cashing out on you. Never cooperative, they had issues. You know what? I'm sure most of you are not conversant with them. National Electric Power Authority. They are so huge, all these huge organizations, executives of those organizations will catch it. That's why you must ask questions. You must be participatory. Anywhere you put your money, you must know what this money is all about. Whether they are your seniors, and you see that it's not going well, tell them, take that your money that they deduct, you are putting 20,000. And at the end of the day, you are getting, they will now give you dividend of 40,000 or no, sometimes 10,000, and you're happy. That's a no-no. So you pull out. Don't do this follow syndrome, this ant syndrome. Yeah, you know one ant is going. Yeah, every other ant goes that direction. Please let us not do that. We must what set up the way we can make money as civil servants is what through cooperative societies, through doing osusu, and then listening. This kind of forum where we have financial literacy, they're telling you about financial planning. For you to you read and all that has been said here, go back, do your research, and you know where you follow. Please, 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 it is important. Nothing is too small. You must start from somewhere. See, when you have economic power as a woman, you can look back and say, yes, I have this. You'll be a happy person. Most of us, we sound like wounded people. We are angry at each other because you look at one woman that is so fine and that has coming, instead of smiling, your stomach is turning. You say, look at her, she's spending her money on clothes. No, because you don't let yourself, you can be that woman. So make yourself that woman by what? Doing what? The right things and not doing what? Ant syndrome. Follow. Thank you.
What will happening will all also take course. And we've heard that there's increase in numbers. We need to come together, to put our monies together to put it to good use. Even the agricultural chain of businesses, you don't have to do it alone if you're afraid. You and your colleague can start it together because that is what the government permits you to do. So we challenge each and everyone in this room today to take those steps. And speaking about various opportunities that the government creates, do you also know some of them that are available to you? There's a national housing fund that there's a deduction that is made for the salary every month. Have you ever asked why they make those deductions? Have you ever gone to find out what you can use that money for? You can access that money. Government is also the only entity that will give you a single digit loan on various things. I'm a beneficiary of it. I do not know anybody in the office. I went to apply for a loan and I got it. Yes, it will take some time. So you will get it. You can put that money to good use. Ask questions. There's so many opportunities that are available, but a lot of us don't ask. And like Madam Rosemary said, we also think that those things are fictitious, but they're not. And so with that in mind, I will throw the next question to you, Madam Judith. You were telling me just before we got in here that government just released another opportunity that women here can tap into. And what are other platforms that you also think would be accessible to the people here today to boost their financial?
Thank you so much. All right, I think I'm going to start I'm going to start with some of the investment instruments. Madam Nana has mentioned earlier, so I'm going to simplify it for you. So for investment, when you're starting investment, you need to understand how long do you want the fund? Are you looking at short term, medium term, or long term? As an individual, we all have goals. Our budget without a goal is aimless. So now, your short-term goals is between 0 to 2 years. Your medium-term goals is between 2 years to 5 years. And 5 years and above, you're talking about long-term, meaning you're talking about retirement. Your children, if you have children that are 2 or 3 years, and you want them to school in Harvard, you have to start planning from now to achieve that goals, right? So for you to achieve that goals, there's something called SMART acronym. SMART means specific. It means that your goals must be specific to you. What is your goal? You want to buy a car. That is your goal. It has to be measurable. How much will it take you to buy that car, that Honda car you're going to buy? How much is it going to take you? It must be achievable. It means that you have to relate it to what you're earning. It's not that you're earning 50,000 and say you want to buy a property. If you're going to say 50,000 and now 100% of what you're earning at 50,000, but not in the next 10 years, will you buy that property? So you look at something you can buy that is within your range. That is when you know that it is achievable. Then relevance, you are buying a car. What purpose is that car for you? Yes, it will aid your transportation for security reasons. I'm doing business, I'm doing my crayfish business, I'm doing my snail business, talking about what women can invest in without you going for the big one like the tractor. Do you know that you can just go to the farm, look for these traders who are selling snails? Yours is to just go there, buy the snails, wash it, clean it, and start selling and do your online business. There are so many chain of value you can do in that agri sector. Do I need to mention the charcoal business is a very big business, the crayfish business, stockfish business, for civil servants that are looking for something to do. Those are big business. You know what? These are the things that are used on a daily basis. Go and check the stores that are performing well today. They are fast-moving consumer goods. Go and check Okomu stores. Okomu store was doing less than 500,000, 500 units. Currently, it's doing about 1,000 units. Those are the things you should pay attention. The government said invest in this. These are the things we are doing. Those people planting who go at home, go and check. You can do that business. How long does it take you to plant and to grow your cucumber and others? Go and check the shop rate. There's high demand for those. It doesn't take you more than 90 days for those for you to grow those things and you can start selling. Pay attention to this. These things are doable. So I've talked about the other chains of business you can do as a civil servant. Now we go straight to the investment. Madam Nana mentioned money market mutual fund. So mutual fund is a pool of funds from different investors who have similar objective. For example, you A, B, C. You said, I don't like taking risk. I don't like taking risk. What I want, if I give you my 100,000, if I come back next year, the 100,000 I should be there. No problem. But I still want returns on my money. No matter how small it is, I want returns. But I'm so sure I don't want to take risk at all. So money market fund is there for you. So what are money market fund? Money market fund is an open-ended investment that allows you to invest in treasury bills and commercial paper. So treasury bill is an instrument of money market. So when you hear money market, it means that this instrument, their maturity do not exceed 1 year. Example is treasury bill. She mentioned you have that of 90 days, 182 days, and 364 days. That is true. Commercial paper is the same thing. So treasury bill is a debt instrument issued by the federal government to you for you to lend money to them. While commercial paper is a debt instrument issued by corporations like Dangote. Dangote December was going for 30% returns on their commercial paper, same thing with MTA. So I like selling this product because they are grade A. It's like MTA is 5G. You always you keep pressing, you're going to use it's going to pay for them to pay your money back. It's one of the punctual investment you can do. So those are the places we invest in. When you hear money market, you start asking, you are giving it from where are you putting your money? You are putting it in one market instrument. That is the treasury bill and commercial paper. So it's the performance of this one that determines your return. Currently, money market, we started this year, money market has a 20% returns on money market. And in the mid-year, the fund grows to 22% returns, that going to 23%. And now it's dropping. It's dropping because treasury bill has dropped to 16%. The last version was 16%, 16.5% returns for 365 days bills, going for 16.5%. Now you don't have the 5 million to start investing directly in the primary market. Money market with your 5,000, with your 1,000, you can start investing and start getting returns. Don't wait for when you have that lump sum of money before you put it there. No, you don't wait. Start earning. Even the existing money you're talking about, take that money and go invest it in money market. Why? When you know you can earn in money market and you get your return, and you actually use the statement of account for your embassy purpose too. Many people don't know. They think that when you invest your fund and you don't have anything, your statement of account can be used for embassy purpose with ARM investment managers. They move down from the money market instrument down to the fixed income instrument. The fixed income instrument, we are looking at the bond market, the corporate bond, the FGM bond. Into it, you have some fund you don't want to use. You want a steady return twice every year. Your father is retiring. Why not put that fund in an FGM bond? You get steady returns on your investment. Bond is ranging between 15-16%, depending on the maturity you're going for. You have 2032, 2030, 10 years bond available in the market. You can dig in the primary market and you can go to the secondary market to make your purchase. They will not have another asset allocation, which is the equities market, and that was what she spoke about. The equity market, when you hear equity, is talking about the stock market, and that is where volatilities happen. But then the higher the risk, the higher the return. But you need to understand the market at the same time. People are going into, I just talked about the market is bullish this period. Where are people investing? What is driving the performance of that fund? Do you understand? You need to pay attention to that thing. Is it that the market, somebody just went to put in money in that place to take out, and once they take out, it drops. You need to pay attention to it. And that is why we are here. After that, you can see us, or you can take our contact to reach out to us to get those advice. Going down to the question, back to my own question, right? Take it. Yeah. So like I think what that aspect there is, the most important thing is that when we gather here, don't come here to speak English. We are here to pass. What am I taking? If I'm living here today, what decision am I taking out from this meeting?
Absolutely. So you mentioned earlier that government has some opportunities that have opened up recently. So what are those opportunities? And also what are tools that people here can take away today to use to better build their finances?
All right, okay. One of them, I'm sure why some of us were coming, we saw Enrich.
Yeah.
Enrich. So Enrich is Ministry of Finance Incorporated Real Estate Investment Fund. This fund was launched by federal government. It's a $1 trillion fund. That fund is meant for you and I to partake of it. As a young Nigerian who is working, whether you're working, you are doing business, you can access this facility to own your home. So you don't need to start saving for that long period of time to build yourself. You now have 30 million, 40 million. I don't know. Some person would have retired before they can gather such fund to get that fund. Federal government is saying, as a civil servant, with your 10%, like check out 10%, you can own your home. This process is not ridiculous. It's not like what you see in other government policies. Within 60 days, if you make your 10% equity contribution, you get the property of your choice, right? You get the property of your choice, and it has a C of O, then you are good to go. So the process is, you go to an Enrich portal. If you are here, you can actually start doing your registration. You can start keying into it, you put in all your details. Then there's a mortgage loan calculator. You input what you're earning, your income. And if you have other source of income, you can add it to it. If you have your partner, probably your salary cannot take the property you're going for. You and your partner can come together, sum your income, and you can actually key into this available product that the federal government has made available. It's a public-private business. It's not like it's government totally. Now, why are we there? We are there to make the transaction so seamless for you, the private sector. We're there to see that, yeah, this fund is exposed to you. It's not those people at the top that are going to start taking it. You don't know how devoting. You know, the more you look, the less you see that kind of thing. No, this is open. Where the ones people tell you, come and take, is available. We've received 250 billion from the federal government. So we need to disburse that fund for us to get the next tranche. So please, I want you guys to help us disburse that fund.
We will discuss that fund. We will have the plan outline, and after the conversation, we're going to ask her.
And the next thing you're going to ask, what is the rate? Just a single digit. The federal government started with 12%, and we told the government, there are 3 billion Nigerians in their salary. Is that based on those? And you know that our president, he had our pride. He said, can we give them 9.75%? And this is 9.75%. And repayment is within 20 years.
Wow.
It's within.
So I see house owners here today.
Yes.
I see house owners here today. And she said something very significant. You don't have to do it alone. It could be an investment property. The assessment that you're doing, after you collect the money, 2 of your friends who can put that money together and own a property together. Own a property together. It's 300 million to buy property. It's not means, you know, but you can start small, money together. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for giving us that insight. The federal government is on your side. That's one of the things you need to realize today. And these things are accessible. I will not be here speaking to you today if I'm not to think of some of these things, honestly. So please, let's open our minds and take advantage of these opportunities.
We'll give you all an opportunity to ask questions, but before that, let me ask Madam one more question, and then you can now tell us what is on your mind. Ask them all those questions that you don't have to go to ARM to ask. The tough ones, be open, ask them. That's why we brought them here today, so that you can engage. I just want you to please speak to the women here today. What is one financial decision? What financial decision would you advise every woman in this room to make before the end of 2025? We still have a couple of months to go. We need to forge ahead with our finances. So what would you tell us here?
I think once the four of us we all provided different options, different investment options for different risk appetites. So I think my call to action for everyone in this room, including us, is to at least implement at least one of these investment options that we have discussed today. I think it's imperative. I know in August there was nothing to do, so better to start late than not to do it at all. So definitely giving out so many options. Please read up about it, and perhaps I would also love to add just a couple of red flags that you want to look at right before you, particularly in terms of investing. I think a couple of them we mentioned already. Don't put your money in what you don't understand. If you're putting everything we've mentioned today, we've explained rationale behind it, right? If it's T-bills, you're giving the government money, the government will use it, the government will pay you back. If it's corporate, commercial paper, working capital for corporations, we said everything, how everything works. So if someone asks you or presents an opportunity to you, and the opportunity is just about the returns you're making, and you can't even understand, okay, what is it? What am I putting my money in? Then please stay away from such opportunities. High returns within short time frame. Please stay away from that. Yes, the stock market has performed well, but it didn't perform well within 1 day or within 1 month, right? That 200 to 50% that we said is from beginning of year to mid-year until today, right? So all those double your money in 1 month, question mark, please stay away from those. All those invest right now, like you need to invest. Yes, I'm giving everyone a call to action to invest at some point. But if any random person comes and they're like time bound, yeah, there's some investment opportunities that there are time frames for them for you to invest in them, to be honest. For example, if you're commercial, when companies issue commercial papers, that 2 to 3 working days within which you need to subscribe to those. But then, like I said, those ones without clarity, that you're not sure what you're investing in, but they're asking you to invest right away, please question mark loans and go into such investments. And then I would say investment without documentation. There's no way you're investing in something and there's no documentation required. Even these apps that I spoke about that I use, they go through KYC processes. My Bamboo, I had to go to this, one of my accounts that I wanted to link to my Bamboo was in my maiden name. Bamboo refused to activate it. I had to go to the bank and ensure alignment across my BVN, my name change, and the account name. I had to do that process before it. So that is true. There's a KYC process. Same thing with Ameritrade. I remember when I opened my account, I was trying to do the address. They're trying to verify my address, and I used my utility bill. And the utility bill had the address before there was a street name. And when I registered my street name. They refused to accept it. I had to ensure alignment and control. So that is truly there's like a documentation process. That's the real thing. So, but then if you're not required to provide any document, or you're not doing anything, or no one cares whether your VPN and your account, then that is a red flag. Please look into that. And all these apps, ensure that they are, all of them have to be regulated by SEC. So ensure you're investing through platforms that are regulated, platforms that are legit. I've mentioned a couple of them. You could do a bit of research as well, but ensure that I think the call to action plus these red flags that you guys should look out for. I think, and with everything we've said today, you have the recipe book to earn, to save, and to invest. And I hope that you guys do implement at least one of these things. Thank you.
conversation to like because this is a very, very important aspect of our life. Like I said, everything goes from there. We can't just sit down and ask any financial literacy. We have to know where our money goes. We have to know how to do better. I think we need to give an opportunity to the audience to ask questions if you have any. If not, I can sit down here and grill our speakers till they can one more. But I think it would be fair to give you the opportunity to ask 1 or 2 questions. Else, we'll take another round. If you have a question online, you can also put it in the chat box and we will see it and respond to you accordingly. So, do we have any questions?
Good afternoon. Thank you, wig.ng, for putting up this very important program. My name is Nwatam. So my question is, well, I heard everything that all the speakers spoke about, and honestly, they've done a very wonderful job. I myself am an investor, so it was resonating everything that was said here. So I have a question regarding the stocks, right? Even though I invest in stock market, I have a question in checking the credit ratings of companies, because I think one of the speakers mentioned something about checking the credit rating of a company. So please, how can one do check a company's credit rating? That's one of the questions that I wrote down here. And then another question regarding the cooperative that Madam spoke about. Is there any cooperative for women that is that you recommend here for us to join? And lastly, crypto. Please, I would like to have a very high risk actually. High risk appetite. Yeah, I have, yes. So please, if I would have a platform for the crypto, because it's something that I never ventured into, because I never had any important information about. So, but I mean, it's something that I'm willing to learn and something that I can go into. Thank you very much.
This is the part where we put a disclaimer.
Yeah, it's like I said, I have a very high risk appetite. So, I mean, if you know what you're going into, you can manage that. So, thank you.
Do you have any more questions?
Thank you for the questions. So I think your point as to the credit rating of companies. So typically when a company issues a commercial paper, they also provide supporting documents to help subscribers to make informed decisions, provide information around their historical performance in terms of revenues, cash flow, or profits. They will provide information on their credit rating that will be made public. So any commercial paper issues that is done, the credit rating of the company will also be communicated and you can get that. Now, in terms of companies on the stock market, I know with credit ratings, the company, a lot of companies do credit ratings, but not all companies make it public. So that's the thing. There's some that do credit ratings, but the rating is not made public. Maybe they're not ready to, or they're not into raising capital, external capital at that point. But the key thing is a company making it public is if you want to go out and get capital, for example, issuance of commercial papers. So I'm not quite sure with the if credit worthiness is what you want to check in terms of participating in the stock market. But then for commercial papers, definitely you should check it, because for commercial papers, I think the minimum subscription is like 5 million for a commercial paper. At least with stocks, some stocks that are 15 naira per unit, you could do as low as that. So that's what you want to check. And then in terms of crypto, now I don't know what the government's stand is currently on crypto, but I know there was a time at which there was a period that the government was anti-crypto and all of that. Part of that, let me share an interesting story. I don't know how it was, I wasn't aware that the government was like, okay, don't engage into crypto transactions. I don't know how I missed that. And I went and I bought some coins. You know, I was in my crypto phase then. I bought some coins. And one day, I just got what you call a draft alert from my bank. And basically, it was just a deduction of everything that was in the account. I found out zero. It's like, how? And so I ran literally to my bank. And then I go, yes, that they received a list from the CPF, a list of yes, so basically because I had bought crypto with my card, so and the government had said we want you to engage in crypto. To be honest, I don't know how I did not know of that, right? I guess probably was a busy period. But yeah, so they said they needed to shut down my bank accounts. I was like, okay, no problem. But at least they gave me my money. It's not like it's gave my money, right? But they shut it down, they shut down the account, and then I just took my money to one of my other banks. So, but then right now, to be honest, I don't know what the government's stance is. But then as a then, I used to, I bought the crypto, and they're still there. But I've not done anything with them. I've just kept them there. I said I don't have the time to check all the time, but who knows? Maybe in another 5-10 years, who knows? But Binance was the platform that I used there. That I used my card. But you might just want to check what that stance is now. I know there've been a couple of policy updates, particularly in the financial space, just to boost investments here and there. So maybe the stance on that has changed. I'm not so sure, but just double check that. So you don't want to.
Thank you. Sorry, I missed a question. Just a quick one. Nanda, you mentioned Bamboo, right? So I have a Bamboo account as well. However, whenever I put money there, I'm always scared to like take it out, even though I know that it's regulated by SEC. But I mean, that was like maybe 2-3 years ago. So do you have like a limit that you work with when it comes to Bamboo, or you're just open, like you're free, you're relaxed, I don't know.
Personally, I don't have any concerns regarding.
And can you please give me like a few reasons why? I know it's regulated by SEC, but I mean, what else is making you comfortable?
Yes, that's one of the main reasons, because it's regulated by SEC. Okay, because it's regulated, and I mean, we know the faces behind the platform. It's not just a random platform from nowhere. And even in terms of trades, anytime you do, for example, you buy stocks,
Yes.
you actually get alerts
Yes.
from agents exactly for those purchases. So that shows you that you're not just giving Bamboo or someone your money, it shows that you're actually buying the stock. So you get actual alerts, those purchases for agents. So at least based on those, I think that I'm comfortable purchasing.
Thank you very much.
Do you want to add what
Okay, on the cooperative, we're coming together here, we can form a cooperative, right?
Yes.
For the purpose of this.
Yes.
I don't know, because cooperatives are usually organizational. You understand? And they are private. I belong to one of the organization, and I belong to private, because I belong to a group of 20 women that we set up 2009, trying to raise awareness for cancer and help indigent women, different communities in Kaduna. And so in that group, we formed a cooperative to help ourselves, build ourselves up, right? So we get money, put money, invest, we share dividend. Now you are diversifying your risk, you are reducing your risk. So you can come up with your group of friends, maybe 10, 15, set up the modalities. But usually it is the organizational one that is based, because the more the merrier, and what people do with it is that, you want to build a house, you go to your cooperative, they can give you 5 million, 10 million, and then they deduct in your salary and all that. But that's why I say you have to look at the cooperative, because at the end of the day, you might not be that type of person that borrows, that is taking money. Your money is there, they are using it, they are giving you peanuts or savings. So you have to look at it. What are they doing with this money? Ask the questions. Because when you want your money, for instance, you have 10 million there and you go to cooperative, they tell you can't have it. Do you understand? It has happened to people. They will now say, can you give us 6 months? You can, in another, you can't just, and the law says that you give 1 month notice and you're supposed to get your money. So you now say, okay, if I've done this, so that's why you must ask the questions. How is this cooperative operating? Because some cooperative now, they will tell you the moment they say, no, take from your savings, right? Instead of them to give you from money, they say, oh, this money we don't have, but if you break your savings, we're able to give you money. There should be money that is floating. So you must know where it is. And when she talked about piggy vest, I want to share something that is an account that I never bothered about. I opened piggy vest account.
Yes.
How many years ago? And now piggy vest is sending me message. Oh, you have so your account has increased. So these things really, they are real. You understand? Don't go and do the one of what just happened to some people. What's that thing called? Is it CBEX?
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So I hope nobody was anybody involved here?
They're too smart.
Because those kind of quick ventures, we should not be part of it. Just everything is slow and steady. Investment is slow and steady. If you are high risk, watch it. But people that have high risk, their liver is very strong. You understand? Because some people can faint. When your money goes, it has gone. You understand? And it's when this agricultural sector that I mentioned, we should be careful, right? I can tell you now that I've lost a lot of money. I lost a lot of money this year. Investment that is supposed to be 6 months. You are doing your farming. One, I did farming and this cattle that we got at Nasarawa. We just harvested the first batch of corn that we got 20 bags. It was on about 10 acres of land. And then for them to go back the following day, cattle had gone in and they just rammed through the farm, The beans that was just coming out, we couldn't get anything. So everything just gone like that because I spent about 4 million on the farm, and then we are getting 20 bags of corn because that's what we're able to move from there. So I think we should we should do a little bit of calculation on that because now government policy again, even if you had bought grains to store, that within 6 months, you know what happened to those, right? So what are you going to invest in this agricultural value chain, right? When you see things like crayfish, that she said, I've done crayfish for my younger days. I sold crayfish. I'm going to supply to organizations. It doesn't stop anything. Saturday or Friday, you see your crayfish. I was selling fish, dry fish. I get somebody to bring from Akwa Ibom. I say, this one is real sea fish, not this one that you are seeing. Water fish. That you see it and you're making your 2 naira. So it helps you with some of these little things. But on your cooperative, we should be intentional and cooperative. What we should leave here with today is how we put money together. What value am I adding to myself this year? From this August to December, coming here, was it my 2 hours? Will it just go like that? We should write it down. It is not going to go to, you're going to add value. And that question you should ask yourself as you are living here, what will that value be? We are here, most of the things we have said here, they are not new to you because we are all learned and people. So the action, call to action, what we are doing, only sensitize you. So now wake up to the call. And what will that call be for you and be for me? Because for me too, it is a wake up call. When she was talking, we're talking that there's a point here. I already know that yes, I'm going to do something, I'll take action. There are so many things that we have to do. And it has to be now. Do not procrastinate. We women, we procrastinate a lot. That lipstick, look at our style, your style. You have to now train yourself. I say, what in productivity we talk about lean. You understand? Lean. So everything about you should be lean. Be lean today so that you can feed fat tomorrow. And anything that you do, if you do it efficiently and effectively, you are just going to get results. Everything will be seamless. That holiday, she's talked about holiday. Plan. Sometimes we just do things impulsively. oh, phone, you are going to get a new phone. It's not that you cannot get that new phone now, right? Don't remove that money to get that new phone. Give yourself time frame. By the time I remove 10,000, 100,000 here, you will not feel it. And you are living your life and you are getting the best things. People will begin to wonder. That is because what you have what good financial discipline. Because with financial planning comes financial discipline. And with financial discipline, you what? Financial excellence. So I'm enjoying us that word. We should get toward that place of financial excellence, and it will be well with all of us. Thank you.
So much. Thank you. Thank you. Any more questions?
I think I have a question.
Can you see how my
Okay.
online viewers?
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, so I just wanted to hear their thoughts on investing in land and gold, because I didn't hear any, there was no conversation about it. And I know gold where still is buy gold or invest in gold and all of that. So I just wanted to get the thoughts.
All right, thank you so much. We're so sorry we inserted that part. We are really sorry. Exactly, right? Having land, buying good, they are real-time investments. It's a good, what I dare say is a good. So for gold, the performance is always there. It's always positive. It's always positive, right from the days of the Bible, right? To date, the gold market is still performing. What about land? If you're buying land, because you're in Abuja, you're hearing people say land, and the price now called you in the village. That your little money that you have saved, 500,000, that said, come and need to buy land in your village. Please, what value will you get? In the next 10 years, how much will they sell that land? If you buy the land today at 500,000 in your village, if you come back next 2 years, what is the value of that land? If that value, what you're getting is 100,000, and that is no investment. The time value for money, the inflation is currently, time of this year, inflation dropped to 24.8%. Last year it was doing 33%. So, and we have other investment opportunities where you put your money and you're getting a proof that we can perform the inflation of the country. Example is ARM Ethical Fund. Currently, that fund is performing 40% return. Sorry, I'm taking you back to that. What I'm actually saying, you need to understand your priorities. When you're buying a land, someone said, come and buy a land in Kuji. What is the paper documentation? Is it the ship test? Exactly. They just wrote paper and said you're the owner of this paper. Please, we have worked hard for our money. We leave our house very early and we come back very late. Not for us to go and give it to someone that did not go to school. Someone that we are older than to outsmart us. When you want to get a property, please get a property that is FCDA allocated. Do your due diligence. You go to Aegis, there's a Abuja Geographical Information System. When they give you the paper, please go for validation. Don't assign someone to do that job for you. Don't say this because this person is a lawyer, because this person. Please go. When the shifts are done, you'll be left with the short end of the stick. Please do your due diligence in terms of land. Land is what they put investment you can go in for. There's a property that was going for around Pape 2. They call it Metama Extension. That was 2 years ago because my husband does land business too. And the business was with the land, when it came up, it was going for 13 million naira. And then somebody that came, my partner, and I told my boss that there's this land available that you need to pay into. So before back and front, and you know us in the private sector, we're always busy. Sometimes we're so busy that we forget about ourselves. We send this investment to other people. We don't pay into it. Oops. It lost. Someone else bought that property. Within 6 months, the person, we sold that property again, and the person we sold at 41 million naira. So that is what Abuja land is a good buy. As far as you have the government allocated paper, is a very good buy. And if you notice, even the Emirates we just sold to you, it must have the FCDA allocated, that is C of O. We
don't go and buy a property where the developer told you that it's out of law or they got a property from the local government and when the government will not support such project. You can imagine government not doing that. Why you that you're shaking them and you want to go and give it to Thank you.
Please don't build castles in the sky. Build your castles where you can see. It's always good to verify. Thank you so much. I think that we've said a lot has been said today, and for me, I think the call of action, in the bags, we provided notepads and pens for you. Before each and every one leaves this room today, I think that you need to write 3 things you will start to do. It's very, very important to make that commitment to yourself. I'm not going to look at anybody's so that I don't know that everyone will buy big. But you need to write 3 points down. 3 points down, the actions that you will actually take to change your financial trajectory. Before we go on to the last part, I think that give our speakers 1 minute to share a personal experience or story of financial decision that was either positive or negative, but had a valuable impact on their lives. So if you had, we give you 1 minute each to round that up with such an experience so that it will leave a mark on everyone who did get today. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. I think I've shared some experiences, good and bad, right? But the important thing is that start from somewhere. Start little, when you get somewhere. And this money market is real. It is real. I like experimenting, and I started with like 15,000. When they talk about money market, this investment, and then you see that your 15,000 has gone to 20,000 just within how many days, right? And the thing is, every day we are seeing it. So we wake up happy. Once you just see it, this thing is increasing. Your mindset is not the same. So what do? I now went and I made it more. Do you get it? So that is something that is so sweet for me. And then land too is good. Gold is very, very good because by the time when we were much younger and get your gold, you are buying gold 50, 100,000. Gold you buy 100,000 cents, and then you are hard off, or you want to do something. Because I tell people that instead of going to tell somebody your story, what I'm talking about this investment is that you can always take your gold to the market or this money market. The liquidity, they both mentioned it. You just go and they will just give you the money, right? Unlike you have one house, you have this, you have that. By the time you are selling, somebody knows that you are distressed. What will the person do? He's going to price the house down. So you see, key things for me. You see gold, but when you invest in this gold, where do you keep it? That is very, for me, I don't wear gold normally, except I'm going, I buy gold because of investment. But the story might not end well. Because I've had somebody that has gone away with my gold. She stayed with me for just 2 weeks. And what was she? She picked one from where, and I don't look anywhere. I'm that kind of person that I don't look. I just, when you come to my house, you are part of me. So I don't see that restriction of walking and walking. And then she made a go with the gold and came back and said, Robbers came to the house. That was in 2018, which was not a pleasant experience. But it's one of those things. That's what I'm saying. Where are you keeping the gold? Now, banks don't accept gold again. So if you are investing in it, you have to go and get a safe that you can lock. But you see this money market, you see land, and like she said, it is what? In one place. Don't buy land because people are buying land. You buy land in people are buying land somewhere and you just go and buy your own and say you have land. You don't have land. Huh? you don't have any investment. Your investment is what? Is zero. Because at the end of the day, and for those people that are interested in building, because that's another form of investment. But to me, I didn't mention it at all because it is not an investment. Owning a house that I say, you say I have house there, those were the times era of our grandparents. He has so and so house. Because if you look at it, you build it, finish building a house, the house will cost you, let's say 50 million, right? And you are renting the house out for how much? 3 million. Calculate 3 million. It will take how many years? 18 years, Abi, to get what? 50 million. 6 years, Abi, to get 3 million. To take 18 years or 16 years to get 40, how many million? So why that money? But you see these things that they have said, and you invest in them, your money what? You will smile, and you'll be smiling, and you'll be liquid. But the house is there. You are not liquid. It's for long term. But you can do that for what? Long term. When you are what? When you are full. Because that school you want to send your child to, that house cannot pay for it. It is only liquid investment that can pay for it. So what am I saying? Let us be wise. Let us be disciplined. Let us take the right action today. And it starts now. Time is ticking. So thank you for this opportunity.
So I would like to hear one more from you.
So I think, okay, perhaps the crypto story is not so, wasn't so pleasant. So even though the value was good. So perhaps I would say a key financial decision that I made that has really or that had a positive impact on me is, diversifying my portfolio. Honestly, like everything I spoke to you guys about, I have investments in T-bills, commercial papers. In short, and the crazy thing, perhaps I should share this story, the commercial paper. How I started commercial papers, there's this lady, I don't know how she got my work email, but for the past, for a long time, the first time she sent me an email, I'm like, oh, who is this? I thought it was a work-related thing. And the email body was like, oh, this is the commercial paper opportunity, da. And I saw her name and I saw an organization, it was a legit organization and all. But then I just left it. Every probably 3-4 months, this lady would keep, sending emails. And so the day I was like, okay, you know what? I want to diversify, I want to do more. I don't just want to invest in one certain thing. I did my DD on, like I said, this organization is actually a legit organization, but I did my DD on that person. She was a wealth manager. They just my due diligence that is actually a legit person working in that organization that I know is legit, and it turned out to be so. And so I responded to her email, like, oh, I'm interested. And in my email, body of my email, my work number is there. And so she called me immediately. She was like, oh, she has been sending me emails for the past da. And anyways, that was how we built a relationship. And today, anything commercial paper related, she does it for me. I do it through her company. So I opened, an investment account with her organization. And so every commercial paper opportunity, even the ones that are not so public, everything is just sensitive. And I see it's one, it's a, remember, top company, great credit rating. I subscribe to it. So just diversifying that portfolio it's been a game changer for me, because you're getting different rates of returns across different things. And again, because I follow these rules that we've said, red flags, don't fall for those things. I haven't fallen for anything. So again, just do your due diligence, educate yourself. You don't have to be a finance expert, to be honest. Educate yourself, use all these tips, do your due diligence, and diversify. Yeah, I think that's it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Over to you, Jen. Thank you so much. Okay, for me, the experience is similar. So, in terms of diversification of the asset classes, it may start from your near cash, which is either your savings account or your money market where you can
So I share my experience. When I was in the bank, I was earning less than 100,000 then. So and I took a decision whereby 5% of my salary will be going to an investment. And that happened for 5 years. That isn't an investment, it's an insurance policy. So when we are talking about investment, the insurance policy will always come in place. While you're doing your investment, 10 years away from now, God forbid, but the health condition might not be the same. Our strength might fail. So what happened? What about the children's school fees? We have the trustees there. While we're talking about the investment revenue from cash, what plans do I have for our children at the same time? So what I have done is that, oh, there's my cash, the savings account is running. Then I have my money market running. I have the equities-based mutual fund, like the one I mentioned, the ethical fund, doing above 40% returns. It started with about 20% this year, and it's doing 40% returns. And that is a long-term plan for me. Why? Because there's volatility that happens. Now I'm enjoying the current performance of the fund, and I'm happy. So some of you want to key into that. But me, I'm ready to take the risk that comes out in the next 3 years. If the market goes down, I'm ready to take it, part of it. And that is where the budget, part of it is not that 100% of my fund is inside there. If anything goes wrong, I don't feel that impact. So what happened, I have that rolling, is a 15 years plan, right, for the ethical fund. It's doing 2 years ago, a unit of that fund was 42 naira, and currently it's doing 94 naira a unit. It means that those that invested 2 years ago, they've earned over 100% returns. And this is consistent from an ethical fund on a monthly basis. That is consistent, it's currently running. For me, consistency, determination. So when my salary comes in, that 20%, you see that thing I said earlier, I practice it. It's something I do. Like, once the 20% comes, I move it. 80% is my salary. Within that 80%, I do whatever I need to do, what I'm doing for my education, I need to pay my school fees. I have like within that 80%, I need to pay my tithe. Do my tithe, I'll be taken as a Christian, we practice, I'm a tither, so I pay my tithes too. So that 5% returns was done in 5 years. Guess what? When I got that money, I was already working in this place. And when I started a business, that was my seed capital I used to start with. You know what that means? That as the business is running, I am getting return. It means that my money has worked for me and it's still working for me. Then for money market, I moved on to money market too. I did reinvest my interest. It means that when the interest comes, I don't eat it, it doesn't come to me. I reinvest it. The compounding effect, it means my money keeps doubling before it becomes people. In the next 7 years, that money, if I take my capital, it can be running on its own. Exactly. Then for somebody that came to the office 2 days ago, and I was trying to open an account, so it was looking at, I was sharing with us about 70 to 80 million naira to invest. And when I brought the issue of Emrich, we were like, oh, Cholo, what can we do? Now you're talking about Emrich. I'm not a salary earner, I'm a business person, and I want to key into it. I was like, yeah, sure, you can key into it. He said, you know what? I want my returns on this investment to take care of the loan. How is it going to happen? And I said, okay, what can that do? I said, okay, can we do a government bond? We'll look for a 10 years bond because it's above 48. So it means that this fund, the MRIF, the maximum age for you to partake is 60 years. It means 10 years for him. And we did, I went to get a bond that was doing 10 years, that is doing about 50%. Now, the return 9.7%, and it has excess return. And that is going to put, he's not doing the normal rent so that I start having issues with tenants. He's doing it as a service apartment. So we need to be, when it comes to investing, we need to be very smart in it. So when you're doing it, what are you getting? What is my return? That is what you should be asking. What is my return? How do I get my capital back? Is this something I can get quickly or not? Is this a fixed-term asset? Your fixed-term asset is the land. The house is a fixed-term asset. So in all your investments, we grow further. We are starting from the money market. Please move it down to equities, down to land. Nothing stop you before 30 for you to own your home. Nothing stop you for you to own your land. And you can start, it could be your business. By the time you sell one land and you buy a land of 7 million, and in the next 1 year, you sell it for 10 million. Something will tell you, please can I invest into this? and you get another flight, and you rent. Before you, that was how this real estate guys, the developers you see, that was how they own a company, and today they are making it very big. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. I think our speakers deserve stronger, more louder. Next year, they will be there. Now. So thank you so much. It's really been an impactful day, an insightful day, and I wish we didn't have to end. And you have changed a lot of women's lives. I can see the faces here, and I'm sure that we will take financial decisions that will change, our trajectory. And I hope that by the next time we meet, even before then, we'll have positive stories to share today. That because you came and spoke to participants today, their lives were altered in the positive way. So thank you so much. We are really, really grateful. Before we head out today, we just have a few announcements that we'd like to make. First of all, Robin Heights Bookshop. How many of us are in there? Some are getting there. Okay, this is the beginning. I can tell you for a fact that one of the things that changed my life, particularly understanding financial markets in Nigeria, was a book written by Nigeria. Because every other financial book I've written were telling me 401k, and I don't live in America. So if you're telling me what's 401k where? It's not applicable here. But we have Nigerian authors that have written great books that are really practical. Some of them have even made it into TV shows. You can learn from that instead of just Netflixing and not investing in Netflix itself. So we have partnered with Robin Heights Bookstore, and they're willing to give participants from here 10% off any book that you want to buy. It's wig.ng 25. Sorry, it's wig 25. Capital letters, wig 25. Please make good use of the code so that you can have the books. We would also be emailing some recommendations for books you could purchase at the store. Another thing that would also we have prepared to help you start your financial journey is that we have created a mock-up like budget tracker to help you track your spending. It's in an Excel form, and you'll be able to change descriptions to suit your own personal requirements. We'll also be emailing that today to all our participants. So please make sure that you leave your email addresses at the entrance. We have a newsletter that will be coming up next month. Some of them here might be contributors, so it's local for it. Automatically subscribe you to it, but you can always subscribe to it. But I don't think because you want to learn more what you've learned here today. We also have a mentorship program. In fact, that is one of our core objectives of having wig.ng, because there's no point having a community where people are not mentored. And if you're interested in any of the mentoring programs, just send an email to us. You get an email address at the registration stand. Tell us what you're interested in, and we'll be able to link you up to a mentor and also share the mentorship framework that we have. It's really, really important. I cannot tell you the caliber of people that to mentor participants. I can't, that's why we refuse to put out names. But believe me, you're going to get solid people that will mentor you in any career. So please subscribe to our mentorship program. Any other thing? Just to say that we have some refreshments at the back, which you can access before you leave. But we'd also want to take a community photo. So I would create your indulgence, all come here and take a community photograph. But once again, you need to congratulate yourself for sitting through this entire program, for being yourself engaged. And I want to say thank you to each and every one of you for joining our first live event. We didn't think it was going to happen. And thank you to each and every one of you. We will see you soon. Thank you. So please we talk about the content.
Let's do the talking first.
It's still recording. Sorry.
Can you sit behind? Sorry.